Page 98, Bones in Rock. It's page 98 and 99 in our World in Space book. A giant dinosaur with jaws shaped like the bill of a duck plodded along the shore of a lake in search of food. Sighting a large bunch of cattails growing in shallow water, it waded out toward them. Suddenly, the big dinosaur stepped into a wide, deep hole filled with soft, watery mud. At once, the animal began to sink. It thrashed about wildly, trying to find solid ground under its feet. The weight of its own body dragged it down. The mud rose to its chest, then to its neck. Slowly its head went under. Mud filled its mouth and nostrils, and it died. This was 18 million years ago. The dinosaur's body sank to the bottom of the hole. Slowly, the soft parts of the dinosaur rotted away. Only its bones were left. Over many years, the mud around the bones was packed tightly together. In time, it became clay. Over many more years, the clay turned to rock, and as still more years passed, the lake dried up. The rock with dinosaur bones in it was now the side of a cliff. During all those years, water filled with dissolved minerals often got into the bones. Slowly, all the hollow places in the bones were filled with dissolved minerals that had been hardened. As millions of years passed, wind and rain slowly wore away the side of the cliff. Finally, so much rock was worn away that some of the dinosaur bones preserved in the rock all those years were sticking out. One day, 80 million years after the dinosaur had died, a group of scientists saw the bones sticking out of the cliff. With pickaxes and crowbars, the scientists removed the bones from the rock. The scientists packed the bones carefully and sent them to a museum. At the museum, the bones were put together. People could see the skeleton of the giant creature that had lived so long ago. Most of the skeletons of prehistoric animals that you see in museums were preserved in rock in this way. Such preserved bones are called fossils. Sometimes all of the original material is replaced with minerals. Then the fossil is said to be petrified or turned to stone. It's a fact. Trees have been preserved just as dinosaur bones were. In Arizona, there's a petrified forest of tree trunks that were turned to stone millions of years ago. Pictures in stone. Cool, that is a fossil of an insect. Kind of insect. And a fossil of fish. Tucked away in the earth's rocks, there are often pictures from the past. Many times in ages past, animals walked through mud and left footprints. Slowly, over thousands of years, the mud hardened into rock. The footprints were preserved forever. We have found rocks in which there are footprints of dinosaurs and other animals. We have even found rocks with the footprints of prehistoric people. Leaves of ancient plants and feathers from the first kinds of birds also fell into the mud. They, too, left prints that were preserved when the mud hardened into rock. Ancient snails, clams, and other shelled sea creatures died and were covered up with mud. The mud hardened around them. When their soft parts rotted away and their shells dissolved, a hole was left in the rock, a hole in the exact shape of the dead animal. This hole was like a mold. Slowly, it filled up with minerals that hardened into stone. The stone was the exact shape of the dead animal that the dead animal had been. These pictures and shapes in stone are called fossils. They tell us about the plants and animals of millions of years ago. Yeah, I know, is it going up? I'm doing my shin exercises, so it's probably going up and down, up and down. Do this one. Layer cakes of rock. The upper part of the Earth's rocky crust is like a layer cake. It is made up of many layers of different kinds of rock, one on top of the other. These layers were built up slowly, one after the other. Here is how this might have happened in one place. At first, there was only the top of the bare rock crust. Volcanoes erupted, pouring out ash and lava that hardened into a layer of black rock called basalt. Earthquakes caused this part of the land to sink. Ocean water flowed in to form a smaller body of water called a sea. Rivers dumped tons of sand into the sea for thousands of years. The sand sank down and formed a thick layer on top of the basalt. Snails, clams, and other little shelled animals moved in from the ocean to live in the sea. When they died, their bodies sank down onto the sand. Their soft parts rotted away, and only the shells were left. For millions of years, these shells piled up until they formed a thick layer. The weight of the shells and the water squeezed the sand together until it became a layer of rock called sandstone. Squeezed together by their own weight and the weight of the water, the shells were crusted into powder. Minerals in the water glued the powder together. After millions of years, the powdered shells were a layer of the kind of rock called limestone. The layer of limestone was on top of the layer of sandstone, which was on top of the layer of basalt. This kind of building up of layers of rock is still going on. The layer of mud that now lies at the bottom of a sea will someday be a layer of rock.